The fluorescent lights of Incheon Airport blurred as Jinkyu Park moved through customs, exhaustion pulling at every muscle. 7 hours from Singapore, and all he wanted was his bed. His phone buzzed David Kim, his business partner. Sua's back in the hospital, same respiratory issues. Don't worry, we've got it handled. Jinkyu frowned. That was the 3rd time this month. 5-year-old Sua was his goddaughter, and handling it wasn't enough. Mr. Cho, he said to his driver, Gangnam Severance Hospital first. The board meeting, sir. Push it back. In the car, Jinkyu loosened his tie and stared at Seoul passing by. At 40, he'd built everything his family expected. CEO of Park Energy Solutions, engaged to the perfect woman, living the perfect life. So why did it all feel hollow? His phone rang. His mother. You're coming to dinner tonight? Yes. The Yoons want to discuss the wedding timeline. The wedding? To Min Jae Choi, the woman his mother had chosen. Beautiful, accomplished, appropriate. I'll try, Jinkyu said carefully. This is not optional. 7 p.m., don't be late. She hung up. Welcome back to my channel, family. This is episode 1 of this powerful story. The Korean billionaire returned from a business trip, then saw his ex with twins at the hospital. A man's perfect life shatters when he discovers the woman he lost is raising his children she hid from him to protect them from his world. Before we begin, drop a comment with your city, and subscribe so you don't miss episode 2. Now, let's begin. Jinkyu closed his eyes, remembering the only time he'd fought his mother's plans. Gladys Washington, the woman who'd made him feel alive for 8 beautiful months before reality crushed them. She'd left 13 months ago, and he'd buried himself in work ever since. At the hospital, he found Sua in room 734, oxygen tubes in her nose, but smiling when she saw him. Uncle Jinkyu. He pulled a stuffed panda from his briefcase. For my brave girl. David clasped his shoulder gratefully. You didn't have to come. Yes, I did. David's wife Min-hee approached. The pharmacy should have Sua's medications ready downstairs. Would you walk with me to check? They took the elevator to the 2nd floor. The pharmacy was near the pediatric clinic, and Min-hee went to the counter while Jinkyu waited. That's when he saw her. Gladys Washington stood 20 feet away in the clinic waiting area, holding 2 bobbies. Jinkyu's world stopped. She looked older, tired, but unmistakably her. Same warm brown skin, same graceful movements. But it was the bobbies that made his breath catch, one in a carrier on her chest, another in her arms. Both had features he recognized. His features. The distinctive Park family nose, his mother's eyebrows, his father's chin. 13 months since she'd left. These bobbies looked about 4 months old. The math was devastating. Their eyes met across the crowded clinic. Color drained from Gladys's face. Her clipboard clattered to the floor. Gladys, Jinkyu called, already moving toward her. She backed toward the exit, panic in her eyes. Jinkyu, Min-hee appeared beside him. What's happening? But he was already crossing the waiting room, people turning to stare. Up close, there was no denying it, these children were his. Mixed race, beautiful, unmistakably his. This isn't a good time, Gladys said, her voice shaking. Those bobbies, Gladys, are they? Not here, please. People were recording on their phones. A hospital administrator approached, concerned. This would be all over Korean social media within hours. Just tell me their names, Jinkyu said desperately. Gladys's eyes filled with pain. Jordan and Maya. Jordan and Maya, he repeated. I have to go. She was already moving, both bobbies crying now. I'll call you, just not here. She disappeared through the exit, leaving Jinkyu frozen in a clinic full of staring strangers. Who was that? Min-hee asked carefully. Someone I used to know. But Min-hee was sharp. Those bobbies, Jinkyu, how old did they look to you? He couldn't answer. His phone buzzed a text from an unknown number. I meant what I said. I'll call when I'm ready. Don't look for me. If you do, you'll never see us again. Then, are they mine? The response came after an eternal minute. Yes. Everything changed with that one word. Jinkyu sat in his car for 20 minutes, staring at his phone. Please, just tell me where you're living. I don't need your help. We've been fine without you. They're my children, too. Gladys's response was brutal. Are they? According to Korea, they're nobody. Mixed-race bobbies with no father on their birth certificates. Are you ready to claim them? To introduce them to your mother? To risk everything for children who'll never be accepted by your world? She knew about Minjai. Of course she did. His engagement had been in every newspaper. It's not what you think, he typed. It's exactly what I think. You're living the life you were meant to live. Let us live ours. I can't, not now that I know. Then what? You'll introduce them to your family, raise them where they'll be stared at, questioned, told they're not Korean enough. Her words hit like knives because they were true. He'd seen how his mother reacted just to Gladys. How would she react to grandchildren who embodied everything she feared? Let me try, he typed. Let me be their father. You don't know what that means. You don't know what it costs. Then teach me. Long pause. Then, you had your chance 13 months ago, when I was pregnant and alone, trying to figure out how to tell you, when your mother was calling about meeting the right woman, when you made it clear duty came before everything. You were pregnant when you left. You knew. Yes, I heard what your mother said about mixed-race children, how they were unfortunate mistakes, how many Park children needed to be pure Korean. She said that at dinner. You didn't defend the idea of different families. You just sat there. Jinkyu felt sick. He remembered that dinner, his mother's rant about a cousin who'd married a Vietnamese woman, his cowardice in staying silent. I'm sorry. God, Gladys, I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't protect them from your world. Sorry doesn't make Korea accept it. What do you want me to do? I want you to really think about what you're willing to sacrifice. Either you're all in, permanently, or you stay away. Those are the only options. I choose all in. You say that now, but when your mother threatens to disown you, when investors pull out, when your fiancé's family breaks the engagement. I'm ending things with Minjai, tonight. Don't use our children as an excuse. I'm not. I'm finally making my own choice. No response for minutes. Then, their pediatrician appointment is Friday, 2 p.m., Gangnam Severance, Dr. Lee's office. If you show up, you're committing, no backing out. Make sure you're ready. I'll be there, I promise. Mr. Cho cleared his throat. Where to, Sajangnam? Home, I need to make some calls. First call, Minjai. We need to talk. Can you come to my apartment? She arrived an hour later, already knowing. Your mother called. She said you're ending our engagement. Yes. Minjai poured herself wine. Were you cheating? No, she left before we met. I didn't know about the children until today. But you still love her. Yes. Minjai laughed bitterly. I knew you didn't love me. I told myself it didn't matter. That love could grow. She drank deeply. But you never looked at me the way you're looking at that photo right now. Jinkyu had been staring at the only picture he'd kept of Gladys, taken at Bukshan Hanok village. They both looked happy. You deserve better, he said. Yes, I did. She finished her wine. I'll tell my parents I ended it. It'll be easier that way. You don't have to. Yes, I do. If the truth comes out, secret children with a black woman, my parents will try to salvage it. This way is cleaner. She collected her purse. I hope it works out, but Jinkyu doesn't underestimate how hard this will be. Your mother won't forgive this easily. After she left, his phone rang. His father. Come to the house. Your mother is upset. The Park family home in Seongbukdong felt like a courtroom. His mother sat rigid in the formal living room, his father beside her looking older than Jinkyu remembered. Tell us everything, his father said. Jinkyu did, meeting Gladys in Los Angeles, their 8-month relationship, his mother's hostile reaction, Gladys leaving, the discovery today of twin 4-month-olds. His mother's face grew colder with each word. So you're throwing away everything, she said finally. Your engagement, your reputation, our families standing for a woman who abandoned you and children who will never be truly Korean. They are Korean, half Korean. Not to anyone who matters. Then maybe those people don't matter. His mother stood abruptly. You think you can raise mixed-race children in Seoul and they'll be accepted? Your business partners will treat you differently. Your grandfather built this family's reputation, and you want to destroy it for some foreign woman and her. My children, Jinkyu said firmly. Your grandchildren. They are not my grandchildren. I will never acknowledge them as such. The words hung like poison. His father spoke quietly. That's enough, Yoon-hee. Don't defend him. I said enough. His father looked at Jinkyu. What do you need from us? Sungmin, you can't be serious. I am completely serious. Jinkyu is our only child. These bobbies are our only grandchildren, whether you like it or not. We can either support him or lose everything. Which do you prefer? His mother's composure cracked. Tears filled her eyes. You don't understand what this will cost us. No, you don't understand what it will cost to lose our son. He turned to Jinkyu. This won't be easy. I have concerns, but if those children are yours, they're my grandchildren. That's all there is to it. Thank you, Abioji. Don't thank me yet, but right now do you know where they are? No, she won't tell me. She's afraid. His father understood, glancing at his wife. Then earn her trust back. Show her you've changed, that you're willing to fight for them. As Jinkyu left, his mother called out without turning. If you do this, everything changes. You understand that? Yes. Our family will be talked about, pitied. Maybe. Your children will struggle. They'll be outsiders. I know. And you're still doing this. Yes. She finally looked at him, fear in her eyes. Then I hope you're strong enough for what's coming, because I don't think you are. Driving home, texts flooded his phone. David, here if you need to talk. His assistant, the board called an emergency meeting tomorrow. They've heard about the engagement. And from an unknown number, this is Gladys's sister Claire. She gave me your number. If you hurt her again, I will destroy you. Friday, 2 p.m., don't be late. Jinkyu smiled despite everything. His children had people protecting them. Soon, they'd have him too. The next morning, unable to sleep, Jinkyu found himself remembering Lowe's angels. 2.5 years ago, the International Clean Energy Summit at the Beverly Hilton. He'd been rushing between sessions, phone pressed to his ear, when he'd collided with someone carrying coffee. The cup exploded across a white blouse. Oh God, I'm so sorry. He'd grabbed napkins frantically. She'd laughed. It's okay. I hated this blouse anyway, too corporate. That laugh, it had lit up the entire hallway. Gladys Washington, 29 years old, junior marketing consultant for Hammond Energy Solutions. Natural hair in soft curls, warm brown eyes, a smile that made something in his chest tighten. He'd insisted on buying her a new outfit. She'd insisted on buying him lunch to assuage his guilt. Somewhere between the coffee disaster and dessert, Jinkyu had realized he was in trouble. She was everything his world wasn't. She spoke her mind freely, laughed loudly, hugged strangers. She worked in marketing but dreamed of curating art. She quoted Maya Angelou and painted on weekends. She volunteered teaching art to underprivileged kids in Chicago. She was passionate, brilliant, and completely inappropriate for someone like him. He'd fallen for her anyway. For 8 months, they'd navigated long distances. He flies to LA whenever business allows. She visits Seoul twice, staying in hotels because he'd been too cowardly to let her stay at his apartment where his mother might discover her. He'd told himself he was protecting her. Really, he'd been protecting himself from having to choose. Her second visit to Seoul had been when everything fell apart. 3 weeks that started perfectly exploring the city, trying street food, visiting museums he'd never made time for before. Then his mother had shown up unannounced at his apartment. Jinkyu would never forget the look on his mother's face when Gladys emerged from his bedroom wearing his t-shirt, hair wild from sleep, clearly comfortable in his space. The fight that followed, after Gladys had retreated to get dressed, had been brutal. "A black woman, are you trying to destroy this family?" "Iamione, it's not." "What will people say? What about your father's business partners? What about children?" That last part had been the worst. His mother's rant about mixed-race children, about unfortunate mistakes, about the importance of pure Korean heirs to carry the Park name. And Jinkyu had sat there in silence, too cowardly to defend the woman he loved. Gladys had heard everything. He hadn't known she was standing in the hallway until he'd gone to find her later. She'd been packing. "I understand," she'd said quietly. "Your mother is protecting her family." "She's wrong." "Is she? Can you honestly tell me that raising children here, children who look like ours would look, wouldn't be incredibly difficult?" He hadn't been able to answer. The last 2 weeks of her visit had been strained. They'd gone through the motions, but something fundamental had broken. Gladys had stopped talking about the future, stopped making plans past her departure date. The night before her flight, they'd had dinner in Itaewon. "Come with me," she'd said suddenly. "To LA, we could build a life there. Leave Seoul, leave his family's business, abandon everything." "I can't just leave. The company, my father's health, the merger." "I know," she'd said. "I know you can't, and I can't stay here being hidden away like some shameful secret." "You're not a secret." "Then what am I, Jinkyu? What are we?" He didn't have an answer. The next morning, she was gone. Hotel room empty, phone disconnected. Only a note, "This isn't going to work, I'm sorry, please don't look for me." He'd honored that request, had thrown himself into work, buried his grief in contracts and negotiations. When his mother had introduced him to Minjai 6 months later, he'd agreed to date her. Why not? The woman he loved was gone. Now, sitting in his apartment at dawn, Jinkyu understood what he hadn't seen then. Gladys hadn't left because she didn't love him. She'd left because she did, and because she'd already been pregnant with children his family would reject. She'd left to protect them all. His phone rang. "David." "You okay?" Minhee told me what happened. "I have kids, David, twins, 4 months old." "Jesus, are you sure they're yours?" She confirmed it. "They have the Park nose, I saw them." "And the mother?" "Gladys, the woman I told you about, the one who left." David whistled. "That's complicated." "That's an understatement." "What are you going to do?" "Be their father, whatever it takes." "Your mother's going to lose it." "She already has." "And the company." Jinkyu had been avoiding thinking about that. "Board meeting this morning. They've heard about Minjai." "Want me there?" "Yeah, I could use the support." "I've got your back, always." After hanging up, Jinkyu showered and dressed carefully. Charcoal suit, blue tie, armor for the battle ahead. He had 3 days until Friday. 3 days to prove to Gladys and to himself that he'd changed. 3 days to become the man his children deserved. Park Energy Solutions occupied 3 floors of a gleaming tower in Gangnam. Jinkyu arrived at 8:30 a.m. for the 9:00 meeting, giving himself time to prepare. His assistant, Jaiwon, intercepted him at the elevator with coffee and anxiety. "They're already in the conference room, all 12 board members, your father too." "What's the mood?" "Concerned." The engagement breaking made news this morning in the business section. Heir to Park Industries ends high-profile engagement, reasons unclear. Jinkyu scanned the article on his phone. Speculation ranged from business disagreements to personal incompatibilities. No mention yet of Gladys or the twins. That reprieve wouldn't last long. The conference room was on the 43rd floor, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul. 12 board members sat around the mahogany table, men in their 50s and 60s who'd built their fortunes alongside his father, plus 3 younger members, David among them. His father sat at the head of the table, expression unreadable. "Jinkyu SSI," Chairman Kang spoke first. "Thank you for making time this morning. We understand you just returned from Singapore." Translation. You should have come to us before making life-altering decisions. Thank you for your patience, Chairman. We've heard concerning news about your engagement to Yoon Min-jae ending abruptly. As board members with fiduciary responsibility to this company and its stakeholders, we need to understand if there are complications that might affect Park Energy Solutions. Jinkyu had prepared for this. He'd spent the early morning hours crafting responses, anticipating questions. But standing here, facing men who'd known him since childhood, he realized he was done with careful half-truths. I ended my engagement because I discovered I have children. Twins, 4 months old from a previous relationship. I intend to be an active father to them. The silence was absolute. Chairman Kang recovered first. I see, and the mother. American. We were together before my engagement to Min-jae. Are you planning to marry her? That's not decided yet, but I am planning to co-parent with her. And these children, another board member, Mr. H. Wang, spoke carefully. Are they racially mixed? There it was, the real question. Yes, their mother is Black American. Jordan and Maya are biracial. More silence. Jinkyu could see calculations happening behind expensive suits, public perception, investor reactions. The Park Energy Solutions brand is associated with an interracial relationship and mixed-race children. This could complicate our relationship with certain partners, Mr. H. Wang said. You know how traditional some of our major investors are. Then perhaps we need different investors. Jinkyu, his father spoke for the first time. That's not realistic. Why not? We're a renewable energy company. Our mission is literally about building a different future. Shouldn't that start with our own values? Chairman Kang sighed. This isn't about values, it's about business reality. Korea is becoming more international, yes, but certain prejudices still exist at high levels. Your personal life affects the company's reputation. Then let it, Jinkyu said. Let's be the company that proves those prejudices wrong. Idealism doesn't pay bills, Mr. H. Wang countered. David spoke up. Actually, it might. The international market is huge. European and American firms specifically look for diverse leadership. We could position this as Park Energy Solutions entering the global stage. That's a spin, someone muttered. It's strategy, David corrected. Jinkyu's situation could open doors that have been closed. We just need to frame it correctly. Jinkyu shot his friend a grateful look. The discussion continued for 90 minutes. Concerns about investor reactions, public perception, potential boycotts from conservative groups, but also acknowledgement that Korean society was changing, that younger generations cared less about pure bloodlines and more about competence. Finally, his father stood. Here's what we're going to do. Jinkyu remains CEO with full authority. We proactively control the narrative, issue a statement about his growing family, position it as his private matter that won't affect company operations. We monitor investor reactions and address concerns individually if they arise. But we do not. He looked around the table firmly, abandon Jinkyu because his family doesn't look like ours. Are we agreed? One by one, the board members nodded. Some enthusiastically, others reluctantly. Good, this meeting is adjourned. As people filed out, David clasped Jinkyu's shoulder. That went better than expected. Thanks to you. That's what partners do. He paused. When do you meet them, the twins? Friday, pediatrician appointment. Are you nervous? Terrified. Good means you care. His father approached after everyone else had left. Walk with me. They went to his father's office, a corner suite with traditional Korean art on the walls and photos of 3 generations of Parks building their business empire. You handled that well, his father said, pouring tea. Better than I expected. I meant what I said, about being their father. I know. That's what concerns your mother. She thinks you're being reckless, letting emotion override judgment. Maybe I am, but I've spent 40 years letting judgment override emotion. Where did that get me? Engaged to a woman I didn't love, living a life that felt empty. His father sipped his tea thoughtfully. I told you about the choice I made when I was young, the woman I loved before your mother. You said you chose duty. I did. Her name was Min Yong. She was from Busan, a teacher, not from money. My parents said she wasn't suitable for a park, so I let her go and married your mother, who came from the right family. Do you regret it? His father was quiet for a long moment. I built a good life, a successful company. I raised a son I'm proud of, but I've never been happy, Jinkyu, not really. Your mother and I respect each other, but we don't love each other. We never did. And that's a lonely way to live for 42 years. I'm sorry, Abyoji. Don't be sorry. Learn from it. You have a chance I didn't take, to choose love over duty, to build a family based on something real rather than something appropriate. The cost might be high. The cost of not doing it is higher. Trust me on that. After leaving his father's office, Jinkyu checked his phone. A text from an unknown number, but he recognized the Chicago area code. This is Claire, Gladys's sister. She told me about Friday. Some things you should know: Jordan hates loud noises. Maya has reflux, so she needs to be held upright after feeding. Gladys has been doing this alone for 4 months. She's exhausted and scared and trying so hard to be strong. If you're serious about being their father, prove it. Show up, shut up, and do what you're told. Got it. Jinkyu smiled despite the aggressive tone. Got it. Thank you for looking out for them. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for my sister and those bobbies. Don't make me regret giving you a chance. Fair enough. He had 3 more days to prepare for the most important meeting of his life. Gladys Washington sat in her tiny Itaewon apartment, staring at her phone like it might explode. Jinkyu knew. After 13 months of carefully avoiding him, of building a life that didn't include him, he knew about Jordan and Maya. The panic attack had hit in the taxi from the hospital. She'd had to pull over, breathe into a paper bag while both bobbies cried, until a kind elderly woman had helped calm them all down. Now, at midnight, with the twins finally asleep in their bassinet, Gladys allowed herself to fall apart. She'd worked so hard to protect them. From judgment, from rejection, from a world that would look at her beautiful bobbies and see problems instead of miracles. When she discovered the pregnancy at 8 weeks, she'd been back in Chicago, trying to rebuild her life after leaving Seoul. The clinic had confirmed it. Twins. She'd sat in that sterile room, staring at the ultrasound images, and knew with absolute certainty that she couldn't tell Jinkyu. She'd heard what his mother said about mixed-race children. Unfortunate mistakes, not really Korean, a burden on families. She'd seen the way Jinkyu stayed silent during that conversation, not defending the idea of different kinds of families. And she'd made the hardest decision of her life, to have these bobbies alone. The pregnancy had been difficult, morning sickness that lasted all day, complications at 6 months requiring bed rest, financial stress as her freelance work dried up. Her sister Claire moves in to help, their mother sending money from Chicago despite her own struggles. Labor had been 36 hours. She'd screamed for Jinkyu at hour 28 when the pain made her forget pride. But he wasn't there. No one was except Claire, holding her hand, whispering that she was strong enough. Jordan came first, 6 pounds 3 ounces, with a cry that could wake the dead. Maya followed 12 minutes later, 5 pounds 8 ounces, quiet and watchful even as a newborn. Gladys had looked at their perfect faces and known she'd made the right choice. These bobbies deserved to be celebrated, not tolerated, loved, not endured. But God, it was hard. 4 months of sleep deprivation, of trying to nurse 2 bobbies simultaneously, of changing what felt like 1,000 diapers a day, of working freelance marketing projects during precious nap times, trying to keep their tiny apartment. 4 months of falling asleep while feeding them, of crying in the shower, of wondering if she was doing any of this right. 4 months of being so lonely she ached. Her phone buzzed. Claire. You okay? No. Want me to come over? It's midnight. I don't care, say the word. Gladys looked at her sleeping bobbies, Jordan with Jinkyu's nose, Maya with his stubborn chin. I told him about the pediatrician appointment Friday. You did what? He deserves to meet them, Claire. He deserves nothing. He let you leave. He chose his family over you. Now you're giving him access to your bobbies. They're his bobbies, too. Biology doesn't make you a father. Showing up does. Where was he when you were throwing up for 3 months straight? When you were in labor? When you were up at 3 a.m. with screaming newborns? He didn't know. Because you protected him. You made it easy for him to live his perfect Korean life while you struggled alone. And now he wants back in. Gladys closed her eyes. I saw his face at the hospital. He was devastated. Good, he should be. Claire. No, seriously. He broke your heart, Gladys. Don't let him break theirs, too. After hanging up, Gladys checked her bank account. $247 left until her next freelance payment. Rent was due in a week. Formula was expensive. So were diapers. She could ask Jinkyu for money. He was a billionaire. Child support would solve her financial stress instantly. But taking his money meant accepting his presence in their lives. Meant gambling that he'd changed, that he was strong enough now to fight for them. Was he? Her phone buzzed again, a text from Jinkyu. I know you don't trust me, I don't blame you, but I want you to know I ended my engagement. I told my family about Jordan and Maya. My mother disowned them, but my father supports us. I'm restructuring my work life. I'm preparing. Whatever you need, whatever they need, I'm all in. Gladys stared at the message. He'd ended his engagement, told his family. Another message, I'm not asking you to forgive me or to trust me immediately. Just give me the chance to prove I've changed, that I can be the father they deserve. Please. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to. But she'd believed him before. Had believed they could make it work across cultures and families and oceans. Had believed love was enough. It hadn't been. Friday, 2 p.m., she typed. Don't be late. And Jinkyu, if you're not ready to be all in permanently, don't come. They don't need a part-time father. I'll be there, I promise. Promises. He'd promised before to call, to visit, to figure things out. Then he'd let her leave without fighting. But maybe people could change. Maybe pain could teach what comfort couldn't. Jordan stirred in his bassinet, making the soft sounds that meant he'd wake soon for feeding. Gladys went to him, lifting his warm little body against her chest. Your daddy's coming to meet you Friday, she whispered. I don't know if he'll stay, I don't know if he's strong enough, but you deserve the chance to find out. Jordan's dark eyes, Jinkyu's eyes opened, and studied her seriously. If he hurts us again, Gladys told her son, we'll survive. We've survived this far. But privately, she wondered if that was true. She'd given Jinkyu her heart once. If he broke it again, would anything be left? Wednesday morning, Jinkyu woke up with a mission. Learn everything about bobbies. He started with Google. How to hold a 4-month-old baby. What do twins need? How to change a diaper. 3 hours later, his head was spinning with information about tummy time, safe sleep practices, developmental milestones, and the importance of skin-to-skin contact. He called his assistant. Clear my schedule for today. I need to go shopping. Shopping for what, sir? Baby supplies. Jaiwon's surprised silence spoke volumes. Should I send someone? No, I'm doing this myself. The baby store in Gangnam was overwhelming. Aisles of products he'd never considered. Bottles, nipples, sterilizers, swaddles, onesies, sleep sacks, diaper creams, wipe warmers. A saleswoman approached. Can I help you find something? Everything. I need everything. She assessed his expensive suit, obvious confusion, and slight panic in his eyes. First-time father. Yes, twins. 4 months old, I haven't met them yet. Her expression softened. Okay, let's start with the basics. An hour later, his car was loaded with supplies. Bottles and formula, multiple types in case of allergies. Diapers in 3 sizes, soft blankets, age-appropriate toys, 2 car seats top-rated for safety, a baby carrier that promised equal weight distribution. He'd spent $4 million, $3,200 USD, on baby supplies, and felt like he'd barely scratched the surface. At home, he researched pediatricians, reading reviews of Dr. Lee. Excellent with nervous parents, patient with questions, good at explaining baby health issues clearly. He made lists. Questions for doctor. Things to ask Gladys. How to hold Bobbies safely. What not to do. His phone rang. David. Hey, how are you holding up? I'm going to a pediatrician appointment Friday. With my children. I've never held a baby. You held Sua when she was born. For like 2 minutes before I panicked and handed her back to you. David laughed. It's not that different from your own, except more terrifying. That's not helping. Wanna practice? Sua has a doll she uses for baby care games. You could come over, learn the basics. Pride warred with desperation. Desperation won. Yes, please. At David's house that evening, Sua was delighted to teach Uncle Jinkyu about baby care. This is how you support the head, she demonstrated with her doll. Bobbies can't hold their heads up good yet. Jinkyu practiced cradling the doll, feeling ridiculous but grateful. And you have to burp them after eating, Sua continued seriously, or they get tummy aches. Minhee watched with amusement. You're really doing this. Trying to. Glattis is lucky. Not many men would put in this effort. I have 13 months to make up for. This is the least I can do. David pulled him aside while Sua demonstrated diaper-changing techniques. You know your mother called Minhee. I asked her to talk sense into you. What did Minhee say? That you're a grown man making your own choices. Your mother didn't take it well. Jinkyu sighed. She'll come around eventually. Will she? Because from what Minhee says, your mother is pretty clear about not accepting the twins. Then she'll miss out on knowing her grandchildren. That's her loss. Later, practicing bottle feeding with Sua's doll, Jinkyu felt his phone buzz. Unknown number, but he answered anyway. Is this Park Jinkyu? A woman's voice, American accent. Yes, who is this? Claire Washington, Gladys's sister, we need to talk. Jinkyu stepped onto David's balcony for privacy. I'm listening. My sister has been through hell because of you. You know that, right? I'm starting to understand. No, you really don't. You weren't there when she was hospitalized for dehydration from morning sickness, when she cried herself to sleep worrying about how to afford 2 cribs, when she worked freelance jobs literally until the day she went into labor because she had no other choice. Each word was a knife. I wish I had been there. But you weren't, and now you want to show up and play dad. I want to be a dad. There's a difference. Is there? Because from where I'm standing, you're a rich guy who's having a guilt-induced crisis. In 6 months, when the novelty wears off and being a father gets inconvenient, will you still be around? Yes. You sound very sure for someone who's never changed a diaper. I'm learning. I'm trying. Trying isn't enough. Those bobbies need someone who'll show up even when it's hard, even when it costs something. Can you be that person? I don't know, Jinkyu said honestly, but I want to find out. Claire was quiet for a moment. Gladys still loves you. She won't admit it, but she does. That's the only reason she's giving you this chance. Don't waste it. I won't. And Jinkyu, those bobbies are perfect exactly as they are. Mixed race isn't something to overcome, it's something to celebrate. If you can't do that, if any part of you sees them as a problem instead of a blessing, then stay away. They deserve better. They are a blessing, I know that. Good, Friday 2 p.m., don't be late. She hung up. Jinkyu stood on the balcony, looking out at Seoul's lights. In 48 hours, he'd meet his children, would hold them, hopefully, would begin proving he could be the father they needed. Terror and excitement warred in his chest. His phone rang again, his mother. I heard you went baby shopping. Of course she had. Someone had probably spotted him and reported back. Seoul's high society was a small world. I did. Jinkyu, it's not too late. You could provide financial support without upending your entire life. The mother would probably accept a reasonable settlement. Her name is Gladys, and this isn't about money. Everything is about money. Not this. This is about being a father. You don't know the first thing about being a father. Then I'll learn, like I'm learning everything else. His mother sighed. You're making a mistake. Those children will never be accepted in our world. Then we'll find a different world. There is no different world, only this one. You're wrong, Iamione. There's the world we inherit and the world we create. I'm choosing to create something better. Such idealism. It won't last when reality hits. Maybe, but I have to try. After hanging up, Jinkyu went back inside. Suwa was waiting with her doll. Uncle Jinkyu, you need to learn singing. Bobbies like songs. I'm a terrible singer. That's okay. Bobbies don't care if you're good. They just want to hear your voice. So Jinkyu sat on David's living room floor, holding a plastic doll, singing off-key lullabies while a 5-year-old coached him. It was absurd, humbling, and somehow exactly what he needed. Friday couldn't come fast enough. Friday morning, Jinkyu woke at 5 a.m., too nervous to sleep. He'd laid out his clothes the night before, casual but presentable. Dark jeans, soft sweater, avoiding anything too formal or intimidating. By noon, he'd changed outfits 3 times. You look fine, David assured him over the phone. Stop overthinking. What if they cry when they see me? They're 4 months old. They cry at everything. What if I drop them? You won't. Just support the head and trust your instincts. I don't have instincts yet. Yes, you do. They just haven't been activated. At 1:30 p.m., Jinkyu arrived at Gangnam Severance Hospital. Too early, but he couldn't wait anymore. He found Dr. Lee's office on the 7th floor and sat in the waiting area, watching other parents with their bobbies. They all looked so competent, so natural, like they'd been born knowing how to do this. At 1:55, the elevator opened and Gladys emerged, pushing a double stroller. Jinkyu's breath caught. She looked exhausted but beautiful. Natural hair in braids, jeans, and a simple shirt, no makeup. Real, authentic, the woman he'd fallen in love with. And in the stroller, his children. Jordan was awake, looking around with Jinkyu's serious expression. Maya was sleeping, her little fist curled near her face. Gladys saw him and froze briefly before continuing forward. You came, she said quietly. I promised I would. People promise lots of things. Fair enough. An awkward silence. Then a woman appeared behind Gladys. Claire, definitely. Same bone structure as her sister, but taller, with a more guarded expression. You must be Jinkyu, Claire said. Not friendly, but not hostile. Yes, thank you for giving me this chance. Don't thank me, thank Gladys. I voted to keep you away. Claire, Gladys said wearily. What, it's true. The office door opened. A nurse called Washington, Jordan and Maya Washington. Gladys started pushing the stroller forward. Jinkyu followed, uncertain if he was invited. She glanced back. You coming? His heart leaped. Yes. Dr. Lee was a woman in her 50s, warm and professional. And who do we have here today? This is Jinkyu Park, Gladys said. The twins' father. Saying it out loud made it real. The twins' father, him. Wonderful, first visit with Dad. Dr. Lee smiled at Jinkyu. Nervous. Terrified. Good, shows you care. Let's get these bobbies weighed and measured, shall we? The nurse lifted Jordan first, and Jinkyu watched his son get placed on a scale. 6.2 kilograms, healthy weight gain. Then Maya, 5.7 kilograms, also healthy. They're both doing beautifully, Dr. Lee said. Now any concerns, Gladys? Jordan's been fighting to sleep more, and Maya's reflux is still bothering her. Let's take a look. For the next 20 minutes, Jinkyu watched Dr. Lee examine his children with expert hands, checking their eyes, ears, reflexes, listening to their hearts, asking Gladys detailed questions about feeding, sleeping, bowel movements. Gladys answered everything with the confidence of someone who knew her bobbies intimately. She was an incredible mother, Jinkyu realized. She knew every sound they made, every expression, every need. And he knew nothing. The inadequacy hit him like a wave. "Mr. Park," Dr. Lee said, "would you like to hold one of them?" Every eye in the room turned to him. "Yes," he managed. The nurse handed him Jordan. "Support the head and bottom, just like that." Jinkyu cradled his son for the first time, and the world stopped. Jordan was warm and solid and real. His dark eyes, Jinkyu's eyes, studied his father's face with serious intensity. His small fist grabbed Jinkyu's finger with surprising strength. "Hi," Jinkyu whispered. "Hi, Jordan, I'm your dad." Jordan blinked. Then miraculously, he smiled. "Oh," Jinkyu's voice cracked. "Oh, he smiled at me." "He likes you," Dr. Lee said warmly. Gladys was watching with an unreadable expression. Tears in her eyes, but whether from happiness or pain, Jinkyu couldn't tell. "Would you like to hold Maya too?" the nurse asked. "Please." They carefully transferred Bobby's. Maya was smaller, more delicate. She woke when Jinkyu took her, her face scrunching up in preparation to cry. "It's okay," Jinkyu said softly. "It's okay, Maya, I've got you." He bounced gently, the way he'd practiced. Maya's eyes opened, studied him, and like her brother decided he was acceptable. She relaxed against his chest. Jinkyu looked up to find Gladys definitely crying now. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should have told you. I should have given you this from the beginning." "You did what you thought was right," Jinkyu said. "What you thought would protect them. I understand that now." Dr. Lee cleared her throat diplomatically. "I'll just step outside for a moment, give you some privacy." After she left, the 3 adults and 2 Bobbies occupied a small examination room charged with emotion. "They're perfect," Jinkyu said. "Yes," Gladys agreed. "They are. I've missed so much." "Yes." "Can I," he took a breath. "Can I be part of their lives? Really part of it, not just visits and child support. I want to be their father, Gladys." "That's a big commitment." "I know. It's 2 a.m. feedings and explosive diapers and crying for no reason. It's giving up plans because they're sick. It's putting them first always, even when it's inconvenient." "I know." "Do you? Because it's easy to say that when you're holding sleeping Bobbies in a doctor's office. It's harder when you've been up for 3 days straight, and they're both screaming and you haven't showered and—" "Then teach me," Jinkyu interrupted. "Let me fail and learn and try again. Please, Gladys, give me the chance to do this right." Claire spoke up. "And when your mother makes her feelings clear, when Korean society judges them, when business gets complicated, then I deal with it. They're my children. Nothing is more important than that." Gladys studied his face for a long moment. "Okay. Okay. Okay, you can be involved, but slowly, on my terms. You don't get to make demands or take over. This is my world you're entering. Understand?" "Yes, absolutely." "And if you hurt them, if you commit, and then bail when it gets hard." "I won't." "You don't know that." "No," Jinkyu admitted. "But I want to find out. I want to be the man they deserve to have as a father, even if I'm not there yet." Maya started fussing. Jinkyu automatically began bouncing, remembering Claire's text about keeping her upright. Gladys's expression softened. "You've been researching." "I bought 17 books, watched probably 100 videos, went baby shopping, practiced with David's daughter." "You went baby shopping?" "I didn't know what to buy, so I bought everything." Despite herself, Gladys smiled. "That sounds about right." "I want to help with everything. Financially, yes, but also practically, whatever you need." "What I need," Gladys said carefully, "is to know you're serious, that this isn't guilt or obligation, that you actually want this life, messy and complicated as it is." Jinkyu looked down at Maya in his arms, then at Jordan, whom the nurse was now checking. These were his children, his family, the most important thing in his life, and he'd only known them an hour. "I've spent 40 years living the life other people planned for me," he said. Being the son my parents wanted, the CEO the board expected, the man Korean society approved of. And I was miserable. Then I met you, and for 8 months I was happy, really happy. Then I let you go because I was a coward. Gladys looked away. I'm done being a coward, Jinkyu continued. I'm done living for other people's approval. Jordan and Maya exist, and they're mine, and I choose them. I choose this, whatever comes with it. Pretty words, Claire said. Let's see if you mean them in 6 months. Fair enough. Dr. Lee returned. Everything okay? Yes, Gladys said. Everything's complicated but okay. After the appointment, they stood in the hospital corridor. Jinkyu didn't want to leave, didn't want this moment to end. Can I see them again? He asked. Soon. Gladys hesitated. I need time to think about logistics, about how this works. I understand. But maybe tomorrow for a few hours at my apartment. Really? You should see where they live, where they sleep. It's not much. I don't care about that. You should, because it's the reality of our life. No penthouse, no fancy nursery, just a small apartment in Itaewon and 2 bobbies who need a lot. Can I bring the car seats I bought? They're supposed to be the safest ones. Gladys's eyes widened. You bought car seats. And bottles, and diapers, and a lot of other things I wasn't sure about. She actually laughed. The sound was magic. Okay, bring the car seats, text me when you're coming. As he watched her push the stroller toward the elevator, Claire walking beside her, Jinkyu felt something settle in his chest. Hope. For the first time in 13 months, he felt hope. His phone buzzed. His mother. I heard you went to a doctor's appointment with that woman and her children. This is your last chance, Jinkyu. Come home and we'll figure this out properly. Or continue down this path and you're choosing them over your family. Jinkyu looked at the elevator doors closing on Gladys and his children. He typed back, I already chose. I choose them. Then he blocked his mother's number. Saturday morning, Jinkyu loaded his car with supplies. The car seats professionally installed by a technician. Bottles, diapers, formula, toys. A baby carrier system he'd spent 2 hours learning to use. Gladys's apartment was in Itaewon, Seoul's International District. The building was older, well-maintained, but modest. Nothing like the luxury towers Jinkyu was accustomed to. He climbed to the 3rd floor and knocked. Gladys opened the door, and Jinkyu's first thought was, she looks exhausted. Sorry, she said, reading his expression. Rough night. Jordan decided 3 a.m. was party time. What can I do? She blinked like the question surprised her. Come in, I guess. The apartment was tiny, maybe 40 square meters, but it was bright and clean, with colorful prints on the walls and baby items organized efficiently. A double bassinet occupied one corner, a changing table with precisely arranged supplies, toys in a basket. It was a home, small but filled with love. Jordan and Maya were on a playmat, doing what Gladys called tummy time. They're supposed to practice lifting their heads, she explained. Builds neck strength. Jinkyu knelt beside them. Hi, guys, remember me. Jordan kicked his legs excitedly. Maya studied him seriously before deciding he was acceptable and returning her attention to a soft toy. Can I? Go ahead. Jinkyu lay down beside them on the mat, and for the next 20 minutes he was in heaven, just being present, watching Jordan grab at toys, listening to Maya's baby sounds, learning their individual personalities. Jordan was bold, reaching for everything, frustrated when he couldn't quite grasp what he wanted. Maya was methodical, watching before acting, usually succeeding on her first try. They're so different, Jinkyu marveled. Completely, which makes it interesting. Gladys sat on the couch, coffee in hand. Jordan wants to do everything now. Maya waits and observes. What are they like at night? Gladys laughed tiredly. Jordan sleeps great once he's down, but getting him down is a battle. Maya falls asleep easily but wakes up every 2 hours like clockwork. So you're never really sleeping. Welcome to parenthood. Jinkyu watched her cradle her coffee cup, noticed the shadows under her eyes, the exhaustion in every line of her body. "What if I stayed?" he said suddenly. "Took the night shift, let you sleep." "You don't know how." "Then teach me. You need sleep, Gladys. Let me help." She looked at him for a long moment. "You're serious?" "Yes." "This isn't glamorous. Night shift means crying and diapers and walking the floor for hours." "I know. And you have work." "I cleared my schedule. I'm taking family leave." Her eyes widened. "You're what?" "Family leave. 2 weeks. David's covering for me." "But the company." "We'll survive. Jordan and Maya are 4 months old. I've already missed too much." Gladys looked away, but not before he saw tears. "You're really doing this?" "Yes." "Okay," she said quietly. "Okay, you can stay tonight, but if you're overwhelmed, if it's too much, you have to tell me." "I will." They spent the day learning routines. Feeding schedules, Maya ate more but slower. Jordan ate fast but needed more burping. Diaper changing, Jordan found it hilarious. Maya tolerated it with dignity. Playtime, tummy time, the precise angle for holding Maya so her reflux didn't bother her. Jinkyu took notes in his phone, asked 1,000 questions, made mistakes and learned from them. Around 6 p.m., Gladys started dinner simple, one-handed cooking while managing Bobby's. "Let me," Jinkyu said. "You cook." "I can follow directions." She talked him through making bibimbap while she nursed Maya. It was domestic and strange and perfect. At 8 p.m., they started the bedtime routine. Bath time, Jordan loved it. Maya shrieked her displeasure. Pajamas, a wrestling match with Jordan, final feeding. Then the complicated dance of getting both Bobbies down simultaneously. "Sometimes it takes an hour," Gladys warned. "Sometimes longer." Jinkyu took Jordan, walking the apartment, humming off-key. Jordan fought sleep with everything he had, crying and fussing. Jinkyu kept walking, kept humming, kept bouncing gently. Finally, at 9:30, Jordan's eyes closed. "Don't stop moving," Gladys whispered from across the room, where Maya had just fallen asleep. "Keep bouncing for 5 more minutes or he'll wake up." So Jinkyu bounced, muscles aching but feeling oddly triumphant. When they finally laid both Bobbies in the bassinet, Gladys collapsed on the couch. "That was actually easier than usual," she said. "You're a natural." "I'm terrified I'll do something wrong." "That's how it feels at the beginning, but you're doing fine." At midnight, Jinkyu took over. "Go sleep, I've got this." "You sure?" "Yes, go." Maya woke at 12:30. Jinkyu changed her, prepared a bottle, measuring carefully, testing temperature, fed her while keeping her upright. She fell back asleep quickly. Jordan woke at 1:15. More crying, more walking, more bouncing. He finally settled at 2:00. Maya again at 2:30. Jordan at 3:45. By 5 a.m., Jinkyu understood why Gladys looked exhausted. This was relentless. Beautiful but absolutely relentless. At 6:00, Gladys emerged from her bedroom, looking guilty. "I slept through," she said. "I'm sorry." "Don't be, you needed it." She looked around at the organized apartment, the clean bottles, both Bobbies sleeping peacefully. "You really did it." "Yeah," Jinkyu smiled tiredly. "I really did." They stood in the early morning light, 2 people learning to be parents together, and something shifted between them. Not forgiveness exactly, but the beginning of trust. "Thank you," Gladys said softly. "For what?" "For showing up, for trying, for not running when it got hard." "It's one night." "It's a start." And it was, the start of something new, something complicated, something worth fighting for. A week later, Jinkyu had fallen into a rhythm. Mornings at Gladys's apartment, helping with the twins. Afternoons at the office, though his focus was shot. Evenings back with his growing family. Nights taking half the feeding shifts. He was exhausted. Happier than he'd ever been, but absolutely exhausted. Then his mother showed up. It was Tuesday evening. Jinkyu was changing Jordan's diaper while Gladys nursed Maya when someone knocked loudly. "Expecting anyone?" Jinkyu asked. "No." He opened the door and froze. His mother stood in the hallway, perfectly dressed, expression glacial. "Yamione, may I come in?" It wasn't a request. She swept past him into the small apartment, her designer handbag probably worth more than Gladys's monthly rent. Her eyes swept the space, taking in everything. The modest furniture, the baby items everywhere, Gladys on the couch with Maya, and finally, Jinkyu with a half-changed Jordan. "So," she said in Korean, "this is where you've been spending your time." "Yamione, this is Gladys Washington. Gladys, this is my mother, Park Yoonhee." Gladys stood carefully, Maya still at her breast under a nursing cover. "Mrs. Park, it's complicated to see you again." "I'm sure it is." The temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. "What are you doing here?" Jinkyu asked. "I'm here to see these children you've been obsessing over. These bobbies are apparently more important than your family's reputation." "They are my family." His mother moved closer to Jordan, studying his face with a cold assessment. "He has the Park nose." "Yes." She looked at Maya, partially visible under the nursing cover. "And her." "My daughter, Maya." "Mixed race." "Yes." "You understand what this means for them, growing up in Korea as mixed children." "Yes, which is why they need a father who supports them." His mother's expression hardened. "I came here to make you an offer, financial support for the children, a generous monthly amount, paid education, everything they need. In exchange, you maintain distance. You don't claim them publicly. You certainly don't integrate them into Park family affairs." The room went silent. "No," Jinkyu said. "You're being emotional. Think practically." "No," he repeated firmly. "They're not a secret to be hidden. They're my children, your grandchildren." "They are not." "Yes, they are. Biology doesn't care about your prejudices, Iamione. These bobbies are half Park. That makes them family whether you like it or not." His mother's composure cracked. "Do you have any idea what the family friends are saying? The business partners? Your father's associates?" "I don't care." "You should care. This affects all of us. Your father's business relationships, my standing in society, our family's reputation." "Is your reputation more important than your grandchildren?" "That's not fair." "It's perfectly fair. You're asking me to choose between them and you. I choose them, every time." His mother looked at Gladys, who'd been silent throughout. "You did this. You trapped him." "Don't," Jinkyu stepped between them. "Don't blame her. If anyone's at fault, it's me. I should have fought for her 13 months ago. I should have told you then that I loved her and your approval didn't matter." "Love," his mother spat. "Love doesn't overcome cultural differences. Love doesn't protect these children from discrimination. Love doesn't." "Love is all they need from their grandmother," Jinkyu interrupted. "But if you can't give them that, then leave. We don't need your money or your conditions." Jordan started crying, the raised voices upsetting him. Jinkyu immediately picked him up, bouncing gently. "See how natural you are with him." His mother's voice softened slightly. "You were meant to be a father, Jinkyu, but to Korean children, to children who would be accepted, celebrated. Why are you making this so difficult?" "Because the easy path isn't always the right one." His mother looked at her son holding his baby, and something in her expression shifted. Not acceptance, but maybe the first crack in her armor. "If you continue this," she said quietly, "there will be consequences. Family events you're not invited to. Business opportunities that close. Judgment from everyone we know." "I accept those consequences." "You say that now." "I mean it. Jordan and Maya are my priority. Nothing else matters." His mother looked at Gladys again. "You've changed him." "No," Gladys said softly. It was the first time she'd spoken directly to his mother. "He changed himself. I just gave him a reason." For a long moment, the three adults stood in that small apartment, 2 generations of Parks and the woman who'd complicated everything. Finally, His mother moved toward the door. I should go. Yamione. I need time, Jinkyu, time to process this. She paused at the door. What are their names, their full names? Jordan Park Washington, Maya Park Washington. You gave them your name. Yes. She nodded once, then left without another word. After she was gone, Gladys sank onto the couch, shaking. I'm sorry, Jinkyu said immediately. I should have warned you she might come. Did you mean it? Gladys interrupted. What you said about choosing them every time. Yes, absolutely yes. Even if it costs you everything. They're not costing me anything. They're giving me everything that matters. Gladys's eyes filled with tears. Your mother hates me. My mother is scared. She doesn't understand that the world is changing, that families don't have to look one way. Will she come around? I don't know, but I know I can't live my life waiting for her approval anymore. Jordan had calmed and was now chewing contentedly on his fist. Maya had finished nursing and was asleep against Gladys. This is our family, Jinkyu said quietly. You, me, Jordan, Maya, whether anyone else accepts it or not. That's a very Western view. Maybe, but I'm learning that some Western views make more sense than Korean traditions. Gladys smiled despite her tears. Your mother thinks I trapped you. You freed me, there's a difference. Later that night, after both Bobbies were finally asleep, they sat together on the couch the first time they'd been alone since Jinkyu had re-entered her life. This is hard, Gladys said, harder than I expected. Me being here. You being here, and me remembering why I fell in love with you in the first place. Jinkyu's heart stopped. You still. I don't know, maybe I never stopped. She looked at him. But love wasn't enough before. What makes you think it'll be enough now? Because I'm different now. We're different. We're fighting for something real instead of running from something hard. Are we fighting for the same thing, though? You're fighting to be a father. I'm fighting to protect my children. That's not the same as fighting to be together. She was right. In his determination to be Jordan and Maya's father, he hadn't thought about what that meant for his relationship with Gladys. What do you want? He asked. I want to trust you. I want to believe you've changed. I want to stop being afraid that you'll wake up one day and realize this life isn't what you wanted after all. I want that too. The trust, I know I have to earn it. Yes, you do. Then I will, however long it takes. They sat in comfortable silence, listening to the city sounds outside and the soft breathing of their sleeping Bobbies inside. This was family. Imperfect, complicated, beautiful family. And Jinkyu wouldn't trade it for anything. And that's where we'll leave episode 1. Jinkyu has finally met his children, confronted his family, and taken his first steps toward becoming the father Jordan and Maya deserve. But the journey is just beginning. Will his mother ever accept her grandchildren? Can Gladys truly trust him again? And what happens when their co-parenting arrangement starts feeling like something more? Find out in episode 2, coming soon. If you're invested in Jinkyu and Gladys's story, please like this video and leave a comment telling us what you think will happen next. Should Gladys give him another chance? Will his mother come around? We want to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to and turn on notifications so you don't miss the conclusion of this emotional journey. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in episode 2.